Today we'll be working with Canva again, and we'll be looking at creating a very simple letterhead. Once again, we'll be working with Back to Roots. We have all of our brand and assets already uploaded into the Canva admin, so we'll jump straight to the layout and compiling everything together. First step, we go up to create a design. And I'm going to select A4 document. That's the size that we want for the UK to make sure that if we send this off to a printing company or if we run it through our own printers, we'll have the standard A4 letter size. You might find that if you're based in the States or elsewhere, the letterhead option might be more suitable for you. So I select A4 document and I have two options. I can either work from scratch on the empty template, or I can choose an existing template and adapt it to my requirements. In this case, we're going for a very simple structure, so I'm going to start with a blank page, and then the next step is go over to folders. And from previous tutorials, you may have noticed I've already got folders set up for logos and icons. So I'm going to go to logos first, and then select our main logo, which then adds it to the center of the page. I can now, by clicking and dragging over the handles on the corner, I can resize that and then move it up into the top right. One issue we have here is that the text is in white on a transparent background, as shown here. So I first need to make sure I put a background in place. So if I go to elements, I could add a triangle, rotate it, and then move it behind the logo by going to position and moving that layer, or the triangle layer, backwards. And then finally choosing my preset brand color over it. The problem with this is that yes, it would do a job for us, but it's not really on brand. We tend to try to go for kind of quite a coarse, rough edge to our designs. So I'll delete that. And there is another graphic that I found on the Canva system that's free to use. And it's got this kind of brush splatter effect on there, which with a bit of tweaking, we should be able to get it to work exactly as we need. So I'll go to brand colors and again make sure that that's the right color. I can also rotate this one and then move it into the top right hand corner. Then once again to go to position and move it backwards. It's getting there, but I need to give it a little bit more breathing space. So I'll enlarge that graphic. There we go. The whole point of this brand is we don't have perfect finished lines. We're going for that coarse, rough and ready approach. And I think that works really well. Next step, we'll add a very basic footer. So what I can do here is I can select the graphic and then press copy, which duplicates the graphic. And it then allows me to put this into the bottom corner. What I might do here is rotate the graphic and bring it round as shown. I can now go back to the folders and I want to put this social media hashtag in the bottom corner. So we've got the same issue here. We've got white text on a transparent background. I could upload a version of the logo that will fit on a white background, but we kind of like to try and keep it on brand and keeping the white version of the logo wherever possible. I can now resize the graphic and position it in the bottom left hand corner. I also want to make sure that I don't have it too close to the edges. just to allow for enough bleed and crop marks if you were to send it to a professional printer. If you were to print this on your own printer, the only issue you may find is that it's unlikely to print it edge to edge, so you will have a white border around it. So what I often do is I'll create a simpler version of the letterhead for those applications. But here we'll be sending this off to a printing company, or we'll be sending it digitally via email. The final step I wanted to do is to show you how to add text as a new layer. So I can go up to the text option in the top left, and I'm going to add a preset subheading which uses our brand font, Mr. Poster Vector. I can then add our website address. Into the text box. One thing I can also do is expand the text box across to stop it from dropping to 2 lines. Finally, I'm going to change the color of the text. So I'll go to the text color option, select the yellow under brand colors, and finally I can move it down into position. What you might find with Canva is you may have to move it in 2 stages. If you move it too quickly, Canva might automatically think that you want to add it to a new page, which is very handy in those instances, but here you've seen I've noticed, or you may have noticed I've done that over 2 stages. Once you've got it roughly into position, you can use the arrow cursors on your keyboard to nudge it into the exact position that you want. Finally, I may want to add additional information like telephone numbers, email addresses, or addresses to it. In this instance, we're going to keep it very simple, and we're going to leave it at that.